Hey guys, Aaron here. Today we're going to be replacing the lower control arm on a Nissan Titan years 2004 through 2015. And this particular truck's a 2009 four-wheel drive with about 250,000 miles. And the reason why we're replacing it is because the lower ball joint has a little bit of movement in it and we get some noise when we're going over a speed bump or just going down the road. Now it is possible to replace the ball joint itself. However, you're going to need a press to do it. And considering the age of the vehicle, it's a good idea to go ahead and replace the whole unit because we're going to be getting some new lower control arm bushings with the assembly as well. So here we are underneath the truck with the wheel off and the vehicle in the air, the suspension's unloaded. Just take a pry bar and you can push against your spindle and you can actually see the movement right here in the ball joint itself. That's a good indication that your ball joint has failed. So with all that said, let's go ahead and go over the parts and tools we're going to need to get the job done. So as far as tools go, we'll need a 32mm socket. On the older trucks, the 2004 through the 2006, to remove the brakes, we'll need a 21mm socket and a 14mm socket. On the newer trucks, the 2008 and newers, we'll need a 18mm socket and a 17mm socket for the brakes. We're also going to need a 10mm open end wrench, a 17mm socket, a 3/8 ratchet, a 21mm open end wrench, a 19 and a 14mm open end wrench. We're also going to need a large mallet as well. Pliers is also handy for removing some of the cotter pins we're going to come across. And also, every once in a while, I'll get a truck that has a little bit of rust on them. And when I do, it's always hard to remove the lower control arm bolts. So make sure you have something handy to where if you have to cut these bolts off, you can. I like using an angle grinder. Some people use a Sawzall. That works as well. And it's always a good idea to pick up an extra set of camber bolts or lower control arm bolts in case that's something you run into. You can purchase them online or at any auto parts store. These are the little cam bolts that allow you to change the alignment inside of the lower control arm. And of course, we're going to need a brand new lower control arm. I'll go ahead and throw a link in the description if you want to purchase it online. That's what I did, and I found it for a pretty good price. Now keep in mind, this is a four-wheel drive truck. If you have a two-wheel drive truck, the job's gonna be a little bit easier, but honestly, it's not too much more work for a four-wheel drive truck. We just have the axle to move out of the way, but we're gonna start off by first removing our brake caliper and our brake rotor. Now let's take our caliper and using a coat hanger or some kind of bungee cord, we're gonna hang it out of the way. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove the tie rod and the sway bar link. Anywhere you see exposed threads, it's a good idea to go ahead and put some kind of penetrating oil or WD-40, especially if you live in an area that has any rust. Makes the job a lot easier. Simply just going to take a mallet and hit the side of the spindle and the tie rod should drop down. After that's complete, let's remove the two nuts on our sway bar link. Next, we're going to be removing our shock. Let's go ahead and remove the top three nuts on top of the shock, and then we're going to be using a 19mm socket and open end wrench for the lower bolt. So if you're two-wheel drive, now you can go ahead and start tackling the lower ball joint and removing it and then taking out your cam bolts or your alignment bolts. However, with four-wheel drive, we've got a little bit more work to do. We're gonna have to remove the spindle out of the way so we can get the axle out of the way. The axle sits really close to the lower ball joint. There's not enough room to remove it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna separate our ABS wire that goes to our hub. We're gonna unplug it because we'll actually be removing the spindle from the vehicle. Using a 32 millimeter socket, let's go ahead and remove the nut that goes on the end of the axle. You're gonna have to remove the cotter pin that sits in this hole as well. Now this axle's pretty new in here. You may have to take a mallet and just lightly tap to get it to free up from the hub. Sometimes they're kind of rusted in place. All right, so next step, let's go ahead and free up the upper ball joint from the spindle. Let's go ahead and remove this, this cotter pin. Now we're gonna take a 21 millimeter and remove this castle nut. Now with a good mallet, let's go ahead and strike the spindle and it'll unpress itself from the upper ball joint. Now our spindle is just about free from the vehicle. Last thing that we need to do is remove this bottom bolt that holds the lower ball joint in. We're gonna be using a 19 millimeter socket and an 18 millimeter open end wrench on the back side. Okay, as you can see with the spindle removed, we have a lot better access to get into our adjustment bolts or our alignment bolts that hold the lower control arm in. Now we've got a couple options here. You can go ahead and remove the axle completely. I'm just gonna kind of tie it up out of the way by using the coil bucket up here on the frame. If you live in a state that has a lot of rust, I'd recommend spraying these down a couple of days before you start, because they can actually stay seized in the control arm. And I'm talking about the alignment bolts here. I've had to cut them out a couple of different times. Use a torch. If you have one, heat's always your friend, but just beware. If you do have a truck that has a lot of rust on it, these bolts probably will be seized in the lower control arm. So I would recommend purchasing some new ones before proceeding. However, with this being a truck in Arizona, we don't have a lot of rust here. I'm probably not going to be fighting them too hard. Now we're going to be using a 21 millimeter socket with my impact and a 21 millimeter open end wrench to remove this first alignment bolt. All right, so with our old control arm removed, it's time to go ahead and install our new one. We're gonna start with the cam bolts and pretty much do everything in reverse procedure from here. All right, now, so with our new control arm in, let's go ahead and put our spindle back on. Two-wheel drive's not that bad. However, if you have four-wheel drive, you're gonna have to, it's like a balancing act with the axle here and the lower ball joint, getting them properly seated, because it really only goes on one way. We're gonna start off with the lower ball joint. Now we can put our axle in. All right, so now we need to work in the bolt, our new bolt into our spindle that holds our lower ball joint in. Might take a little bit of finessing to get that ball joint right in place for that groove. So take a mallet or something like that and kind of beat down the ball joint and it should go right in. Now let's go ahead and put our sway bar link back in. Now we can go ahead and throw our old shock back in. All right, so with our shock in, let's go ahead and put our tie rod back on. And using our 21mm socket, we're gonna tighten up this castle nut. All right, so everything is back on and bolted on except for the brake system here. One thing to note is that we're not gonna torque down the camber bolts and the control arm until the vehicle is on the ground. Right now, the suspension's unloaded and the control arm is in the lowest position. If we torque those down and then put the vehicle on the ground, it's gonna put a little bit of unneeded stress on those control arm bushings, which can cause them to fail out prematurely. All right guys, so the vehicle's on the ground, everything's bolted up, and I went ahead and torqued down the camber bolts or the lower control arm bolts to 100 foot-pounds. The next step is to take the truck to an alignment shop and have them get the alignment in spec. We definitely don't want any pull from the vehicle or any uneven tire wear. Make sure to check out the torque specifications in the description and the links for the parts and tools I used during this video. Thanks as always guys, see you next time.